All right, guys, welcome back. We are here with another episode of the Coyote Football Stats Show. This is episode number 8, brought to you by City Park Group. We're certainly thankful for their sponsorship.
For sure.
We are going to cover today Anna's gritty, since you wrote it, I'm going to say it, gritty win over Denison to continue our march toward the playoffs. I am Phil Morgan.
I'm Blake Grundy. And I mean, I think this game was about remaining tough, right? Nothing really came easy. I think Denison came out with a good game plan. That was a really well-played game. I think that they had
A little bit of keep away, I think.
Yeah,
was the strategy.
Their quarterback running back combo played a pretty nice game in that read option.
Definitely a tip of the hat to number 23. Dude's got jets.
Yeah.
If he got to the edge, man, dude was
he
was running, but.
I mean, it kind of felt gritty. Even as the game was going, it felt weird, but it felt gritty.
Yeah, I'm going to use the word odd, maybe a little strange. Timing stuff was weird. Like, it just felt like there were a lot of things that were just a little off. I know a lot of fans talked about it felt dark. Like, it didn't feel like we were in a, like, I don't know, it was strange. Like, everything was strange. The Coyote Vision, which does an incredible job. I spent some time shouting out Coyote Vision a little bit on Facebook over the weekend, just because people were like, oh, there's a thumbnail, there's this and that. And they weren't trying to be mean about it. They were just like, it's hard to view and whatever. And I get that. But, man, what they overcame on Friday night at the game was pretty incredible. They went from thinking they were going to have a spot up in the press box area to really being put down on the field if they were going to operate. So they did an incredible job. Always do. They're so professional, and the thing I want to remind people is these are students led by our teachers, and I have a lot of respect for them. I'm so thankful for what they do. I'm thankful because it allows people who can't get to games to see the games, and these boys deserve to be seen. So
they do, and I think you and I know a little bit more than the average bear about what goes into putting together a broadcast or a show, or the
average person.
Yeah, or the. Okay, thanks.
Sorry.
Thanks. The average person as well. That's a correct statement. But a little bit more about what goes into that. But even we don't go to the level of a live broadcast, bringing in 3-4 different camera feeds that are mobile, on the move,
right?
Things like that. So there's a lot that goes into that, and they do a great job every week. They overcame some adversity,
lots of it,
before, during, and after the game, and. And did a great job, and we'll kind of leave that one at that.
Yep.
But it was the defense was bend, don't break on Friday night, and I thought they did a good job about that. We'll talk about that in that section. The offense got what was necessary, what they had to get.
At times, the offense reminds us of who they were. There were times where we, and we'll talk about complete clean games, and this is a good place to just bring it up.
Okay.
The thing about our team is I know the coaches preach it. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
We're still yet to see a complete, clean game of football. And every time we mess around, right? Every time we're undisciplined, or every time we make a mistake, or things like that something happens, it puts us in games where they're unnecessarily close, right? And I felt like we had a pretty messy, especially first half, to the game against Denison, and I think that's why this game really, I think it got off to that kind of feel. It just wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't feel like everybody was locked in.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't reach the 128-point threshold or whatever it was that I predicted.
You were so serious about that
hyperbolically.
Too. No, you were serious.
Little satirical.
No, you were totally serious.
But some people can't take a little joke.
Oh my!
And it gets under some people's skin. So we'll leave that one there at that.
Listen,
just go ahead.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna say it. If you are from another school and you are watching our broadcast, first of all, you're probably only watching one show, so you have no idea who or how we operate.
Yeah.
We like to have fun. We tell a lot of jokes. We go crazy, and we say things that are off the wall. That there are opinions. They represent our personalities. And I'll just say this: if you can't handle that, you don't have to watch. If you're from Memorial, or if you're from Memorial and you decide to tune into one of these shows, if you understand that most of what we say when it comes to certain situations is tongue in cheek, well then by all means, welcome. We're glad you found us.
Yeah, we're gonna be satirical. We're gonna be over the top. Like in no world did I actually think we were gonna score 128 points or whatever total I predicted the coach's show was. Right, like
you were 100 points shy.
Yeah, I mean, so 100
point over.
we don't got to take it personally like that.
No, man.
I'll leave it at that.
Golly.
Listen, I thought our fans were really, really good on Friday night.
Yeah,
They
man.
traveled well. They were loud. They brought some fun into that stadium. And I will say one of the things I really liked about the stadium was how close the fans were to the action.
Man, I heard things I've never heard before from the fans.
Maybe some things I don't want to hear again.
Maybe some stuff I don't ever want to hear, but they're like us. I mean, I think you get invested with a group of guys. You know, I was talking to somebody this week. You know, part of what we do is, you know, look, we've learned to love these guys.
Yeah.
We've learned to feel for their victories, to hurt when they lose. And that's because, you know, you get to know them. And once you start to and some of these people in our stands, of course, are family.
Yeah.
Right. And so they feel it even deeper than we do. So
Yeah.
Fans were great. A lot of loud. Way to bring the vuvuzelas.
Hey, you need to respond to a shout out that you got on Friday night. Someone calling your name from the stands.
No, man.
Mr. Snacks himself.
Snacks himself, Mr. Tobar. Yeah, listen.
Say Mr. Tobar, we see you.
Yeah, we got you, bro. You know, it's fun. I think, you know, when you look back at the games and you look back at our role, our job is to hopefully vanish. You know, once the game's kind of going, we have another responsibility before a game, but outside of that, we're supposed to vanish and we're supposed to not be seen and not be heard. And it's funny to me that like the refs are not the refs are not in my way. Like it's fun. I listen to other people on the sideline sometimes, you know, and they're not I'm in their way, right? They have to operate a game safely. And so there are times where we're asked to step further back than maybe we're used to, or, you know, we get more freedom to step further up, and it just depends on the crew. And, you know, we have to learn that as for what we do on our job.
Sure.
And, you know, it's just a gentle reminder out there that we're to blend in, right?
Yeah.
We're to blend in.
Well, we have some fun. I think we'll break down everything Friday night, but let's do a quick little look ahead. I think there are a lot of people curious about some scenarios.
Well, and it's like working a 12-sided Rubik's Cube here.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like we're having doing some trigonometry here to get this figured out.
I can do me a 3x3 Rubik's Cube. I can do that pretty quick.
There you go.
But, you know, we get in a 12x12. That's a whole different ballgame. I'm going to call in some different people to help me with that. This is a little bit closer to a 3x3 Rubik's Cube, so we can manage it.
What we're really talking about, right, is we currently sit in third place in district.
Yes.
There is a chance for us.
We currently sit. Yeah,
we sit in third place. Yeah. And there's a chance for us to possibly move to second. And there's worst case scenarios, but we're not going to go over those. But so listen, you've done the math, you've done all the algorithms, you've put all the trigonometry together, and you at least have a pretty good handle on all the tiebreak scenarios and what that looks like. And it's not normal. It's not just head to head. It's points scored. There's a point system. Coach Parse talked about the 17-point system, and so there's a lot that gets put into this that you need to understand about when and where we're going. The good news is right now, should we win out, should these boys take each game, as important as they are, you have to win both games. And you should win them. You should go out and win in your fashion. You should win in Coyote fashion. And should you do, we're going to playoffs.
157 to -42.
Yeah, because that's real. That's a real prediction. In case you're watching, go ahead. I'm not salty at all.
Write it down in Sharpie.
I wasn't the one that got the brunt of that, by the way, and I'm still a little salty.
No, I mean I'm the one who had my integrity called into question, but that's a whole different story. So let's go through the scenarios of playoffs. Right, I pulled up Max Preps. I've got it on my iPad. Got the standings in front of me. So we currently sit in fourth place, technically.
Okay, technically.
We're currently in fourth place. Walnut Grove is in first place at 5-1. Lovejoy is 5-1. Melissa 4-2, and we are also 4-2. But Melissa holds the head-to-head tiebreaker.
Right.
So when there are two teams with the same record, it falls to head-to-head tiebreaker. All right. When there are three teams that fall into a tie, it goes to a point differential between the games those teams played each other
because there's more than two teams at stake.
Correct.
You have to go to the point system.
So you throw out the head-to-head, and we go to a point system. All right. So Walnut Grove beating Lovejoy kind of threw some things in the loop.
I think it shocked quite a few people. I think there were a lot of people who didn't expect that to happen. But it's great for the Coyotes because it gives us some scenarios. So.
Yeah. So and then Emerson beat Melissa.
Another one.
Okay. So, kind of a little bit shocking, but like hats off to Emerson for resurrecting their season and saying, hey, you know what? We're going to fight. We're not done. We're going to keep pushing and fighting. Like That's the spirit you like to see from these teams that are fighting for these spots. So it boils down to Friday night. Of course, you gave the caveat. We need to take care of business our last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to talk about what happens on scenarios on Friday night, as far as I understand them. Okay. So Walnut Grove and Melissa play each other Friday night. We have 2 games that we need to take care of business. So I'm going to take that out of the equation. We're currently sitting at 4-2. So Walnut Grove, if they beat Melissa, Walnut Grove has the inside track for the 1 seed in the district because Walnut Grove has the tiebreaker over Lovejoy. Okay. That would then push us into 3rd place. Melissa would fall down to 5th place and would potentially be out of the playoffs if Emerson takes care of business, because that would leave them with 3 losses tied with Emerson's 3 losses. And Emerson holds that head-to-head tiebreaker. So if Melissa loses,
Emerson sneaks in.
Emerson sneaks in. If Melissa loses to Walnut Grove, Emerson sneaks in as that to have that pole position for 4th, and we are kind of locked into that 3rd position as long as we take care of business.
Right.
And I'll continue to give that caveat because Coach Parr might be mad at me otherwise.
We can't say it enough, man. Like that, all of this stuff that you're talking about is fine and well, right? Mm-hmm. But if we go out and lay eggs, or we're not disciplined, and we don't play Coyote football, then what we end up being in, we could end up being in a position where we're looking like a Melissa that like they're in. No one wants to be in a position where you could get eliminated, right? But if you don't take care of business, that's what happens.
I mean, look, we lose one of these games and we're sitting there in the tiebreaker for 4th.
Yeah,
okay?
and that's not where we need to be.
We don't want to be there. So if Walnut Grove wins, we're kind of slotted into that 3rd seed. Okay, simple enough. If Melissa wins, we now enter into a tie with 2 losses between Walnut Grove, Melissa, and ourselves for that. Who's going to get that tiebreaker for the 2, 3, and 4 seed, assuming everybody wins out the rest of the way. All right. So we then take our point differential among the games those teams played. So Melissa, Walnut Grove, Melissa, Anna, Walnut Grove, Anna. We take those games and take the point differential. We lost to Melissa by 3 on the incomplete fumble. And we beat Walnut Grove by 14. That gives us a plus 11 point differential. All right. Walnut Grove is sitting at a minus 14 point differential in those 3 game scenarios I just mentioned. Okay.
That's a big difference.
Yep. They sit at minus 14. So Walnut Grove, if they lose to Melissa, Walnut Grove will fall to the 4 seed. Okay.
Yeah.
Just because they'll be at negative, let's say they lose by 1, they'll be at negative 15.
Yeah.
That's less than us. And that's going to be less than what Melissa has, because Melissa currently sits at a plus 3. So we know plus 11 and plus 3, there's an 8-point difference. So if Melissa wins by 7 points or less, as I understand it today, if Melissa wins by 7 points or less, that would give them a plus 10 or less point differential, which is less than our plus 11 point differential. That would vault us to the number 2 seed. Melissa would be 3. Walnut Grove would be 4. Now, I'll just say this. If Melissa wins by
exactly 8.
Exactly 8. We go to the next level of tiebreakers, and I haven't looked to see what that is.
Listen,
and I don't care to do a 4x4, 5x5, 6x6 Rubik's
I think
Cube
we have
this
to.
morning.
I think we have to go to Moses' original tablets that were etched in stone to find out what that is.
Yeah.
It does. In the end, at that point,
it might be like a coin flip or something like that is what it comes down to, and we don't want to enter into a coin flip,
right?
Because that could then coin flip us down to the 4 seed.
Yeah.
I think is what I remember Coach Parr saying in the coach's show earlier. So if Melissa wins by 9 or more, Melissa then has a plus 12 point differential, greater than our plus 11. So Melissa goes to 2, we go to 3, Walnut Grove goes to 4.
Yeah.
So essentially in this scenario, Melissa wins, Walnut Grove falls to that 4 seed, and it depends on how much Melissa wins by of whether we slide into the 2 or the 3. Now, all of this doesn't matter if we don't take care of business. We can't control.
Have we said that yet?
Yeah, once or twice.
Look, we got a new producer back behind the computer today.
Yeah.
So I'm asking Landon. Landon, have you seen it? Have you heard it a couple times? Landon let's give Landon a little hand. Yes, sir.
Little love to Landon.
Little love to Landon.
Thank you for filling in for Josh this week,
yeah,
man.
Stepping
We appreciate
in, doing
you.
a great job.
So all of that to say, there's a Rubik's Cube that I just solved for you on screen.
Yep.
And if I need to bring a real Rubik's Cube, I can bring a real Rubik's Cube to prove I can solve a Rubik's Cube.
No, and it feels just as confusing as most people look at an unsolved Rubik's Cube.
But here's what I would say to the team. Here's what the coaches will say to the team. We have no control over what happens in the Walnut Grove and Melissa game. That is outside of our control.
That's just something we watch.
What is in our control is what we do this week against Memorial and what we do the following week against Liberty.
And I will say this. I don't see any reason that our team can't go out and score 6 touchdowns, because that's what they're used to doing, right? That's how they operate.
By the way, that's only 42 points, so someone don't be like, oh, he predicted 600,000 million points.
Yeah, don't come at me with a disrespect quote. Like I'll talk about you next week. So that's how it'll work, because we get to talk on the show and you don't. So
a little salty if you can't tell.
Yeah. So the bottom line is we can do that. Our offense can easily do that. Not because anything of the other team. It's just because that offense is that good, right?
Yeah.
That's what I expect. I expect this offense to go out and to put up 42, 49 points, because that's what they are capable of doing, even against the best teams in the district.
That's consistently what they've done.
That's exactly what they've done.
It's really not disrespect. Like, we put up 62 against Lovejoy, who's one of the best teams in the state.
And our defense has grown from one that was really green at the beginning of the year, right, that struggled to stop the run. At times, we still have trouble with the run, but have grown and gotten better, and they're kind of getting to that bend, don't break kind of place in football, and they're doing it enough to where our team can come out on the top. And that's exactly what you want from your defense. You want a dominating defense, right?
Yeah.
I think Coach Sevier would say, I want a punishing, physical, dominating defense. That's what I want. I want a violent defense. Like, I get that. But you also, when you're in a situation where they're young, you want to see them taking steps and growing and getting better. And they're doing that this year. They're doing that a lot.
100% they are. So real quick, you at home, is your head spinning from the playoff scenarios? Comment yes, comment no. Like, my head is spinning. I understand it. I get it. But as of today, that's how the playoff scenarios sit. So what matters, though, is our game against Memorial on Friday night. Yep. We don't control Melissa Walnut Grove. We have no impact there.
We can have fun watching the end of it, but that's all we get to do is watch it.
So we're going to focus on senior night coming up.
Come on.
But we're going to look backwards at the Denison game first.
Let's talk some stickers.
So let's do that.
Can we get into that?
Let's talk about our offense.
Let's do it.
Well, I got to lead off with him last week, so you come on with him this week.
Number 8, our quarterback. I'm talking
man.
about my quarterback, man.
Little T.O.
That's
my quarterback.
That's my quarterback.
Talking about Tony Romo, right?
Yeah, that's right. We got it. Number 8, Zandre Williams, man. Look, 5 stickers on this performance. Now, I know Zai's probably looking at this going, 5 stickers, really?
4 of them through the ground.
Yeah,
spoiler alert.
But yeah, that's where you really shine. So look, we went 14 for 20, 166 yards with a touchdown. Mm-hmm. It puts your completion percentage at 70%. I mean, look, that's efficient, and that's a sticker, right? That's for us. That for our level of
66% is our minimum standard.
That's our minimum standard, and so you met that standard. But where you really shined this particular game, and I think you shine in this way every game, and that's why a lot of teams, defend you the way that they do, is you had 9 carries for 107 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I got a great video of one of them. But you had an average of 11.9 yards per carry.
Yeah.
Oh, what the Cowboys wouldn't do for that kind of production on the ground. I don't know that they care, but that's another story. We got that. Coyotes got that. We got 11.9 yards per carry on the ground from our quarterback, by the way.
Yeah.
From our quarterback. He's not afraid to use his legs. He's willing to get out there. He's willing to put his body in some of harm's way.
107 yards on the ground.
That's what I said, 107.
Yeah. Okay.
9 for 107.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's that. You get 5 stickers for that. Incredible performance, a gritty one. It wasn't exactly the game didn't look the way we wanted it to in the end. But it was what you had to do, and I felt like we were in pretty good control most of that game. After that first quarter and things settled down, I felt like Zai might have settled down a little bit, and the turnovers were kind of finished.
Yeah.
At that point, it was watching our team kind of do what they do, and Zai do specifically what he does really well. So, 5 stickers, Zai, coming your way, my man.
Yeah. By the way, Zai's up to averaging 92.3 yards per game rushing.
Right, and these guys are, again, we've mentioned this before, but both Zai and the guy we'll talk about next are both sitting up pretty high on state and even on our state records. Certainly our divisional, our district records. But
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna shout him out. I'm looking at it right now. Zai is number 10 in the state for total yards when you include his passing and rushing yards combined.
Top 10, baby.
He's number 10 in the state, number 9 in UIL when you take out TAP schools, private schools. He's number 9 in UIL in total yards. So that's, I mean, that's fine.
Look, this is
that's enough.
This is a big state. Y'all got to understand, to be the top 10 of anything in the state of Texas it's a feat. I mean, it is an absolute, it's a grind, because they're dudes all over this big state that are chucking that football every weekend, and he's in the top 10 of those guys.
He's number 9 in 5A D2 for passing yards. So yeah, Zai continues to perform really, really well. It's he'll be the first to say it. I didn't have the game I wanted to have.
Right.
I didn't play as well as I wanted to play on Friday night. And that's part of what we love about you, Zai, is you're willing to own up. You celebrate your successes as much as anybody, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
But you're also willing to take accountability and say, I need to be better. I'm the leader. I'm the quarterback. I need to be better. And so you're walking away with 5 stickers.
And it's funny to me. Like, I hear fans, and I listen to even students sometimes talk about this, that, and this. They need to do this, or they need to do that. Like, we'll talk about that in the coaches show occasionally about like defensive coverage. Well, if they'd only do X, Y, and Z, if they could just do this when they're in coverage, if they could just, it's like, yeah, if they could just do, like, they don't know what they're supposed to do. And it's super easy that if you just say it, it's going to get better. Right. It's hard. Like, this stuff is hard. Right, it's why they practice. It's why they fight all year long.
Yeah,
it's why they sacrifice to get better. They know, and Zai knows, man. And you can just look, and he'll look at you, and he'll be like, "I know." Like, you can see it in his eyes that he knows what he's done and what he's got to fix. So it's what makes elite level competitors.
Yep.
If you can't take criticism, and if you're not self-criticizing, you're probably not going to go very far. And Zai can do both of those. He can take criticism, and he can also appropriately self-criticize and get better from it. So
Coach Parr described him as one of the best quarterbacks in the state and one of the best quarterbacks in his class. And Coach Parr doesn't dole out praise that is undue or that is not earned.
True.
And so that's a big deal. But let's go to our next guy. Number 1, Edward Chumley. You're going to walk away with 2 stickers on the evening. Chum Bucket was not happy with his game. And that's just what it is. Like,
I talked to his dad. He goes, "Well, it looks like Superman just remained Clark Kent tonight."
Yep. It's okay. He's allowed a Clark Kent game every now and again.
But put the numbers out there of what Clark Kent did,
so
for the record.
He had 21 carries for 143 yards and 1 touchdown. So there are your 2 stickers.
Yeah.
He averaged 6.8 yards per carry, which is phenomenal for a running back.
Yep, really good.
We talk about 4.0 is the mark of efficiency in the NFL. It's probably closer to 4.55 in high school level. To be at 6.8 is really good. And then you added 1 catch for 13 yards. I mean, he tried to go full Superman quarterback mode by throwing into triple coverage to ace. Didn't work out how he wanted it to.
I did not.
Okay.
I did not clip that. I have that video very, very, very well documented, and I don't think it's going to make our stat show.
Yeah. I mean, he's up to 21 touchdowns on the season.
Yeah,
guys.
he's cruising.
He is. He's crazy.
There's a real chance this kid sees 30 touchdowns by the end of the season complete.
Yeah, he's up to. It's ridiculous. So he's up to 934 rushing yards on the season, for a 6.8 yard per carry average over the entire season. 19 rushing touchdowns, 2 receiving touchdowns. That's 21 on the year. We've given some context, I think, in the coaches show, but if you didn't catch the coaches show, he had 20 touchdowns all last season through the state title game.
Yeah.
So his state title game MVP included all those numbers that added up to 20 for the whole season. So for him to be at 21 with 2 games to go in the regular season, he could get to 57,000 touchdowns this week.
This week. Okay, he's not. And for those of you that missed it, that was a bit of satire. It was a bit of hyperbole. It was
me celebrating my
it was just
boy.
A joke.
My boy, by the way, that comes to our church that I know personally,
good dude.
pretty well beyond the football field. Edward Shumley, you're going to get 2 more stickers to put on that helmet that is running out of room. By the way, I mean, we could talk more about his accolades on all sides of the ball. We've got all of these rankings and stats, and we'll include that in like a post-season show. But
we'll do a wrap up. The one thing that impresses me most, and it's not really about Zai or Edward. It's about our field position. It's about, because if you look at other guys who have that many touchdowns in our in 5AD2 across Texas, my guess is they've got a lot more yardage. And I think that speaks a lot to our special teams. I think it speaks a lot to what's happening in that part of the field. We're not in that section to talk about, but it makes that's the great thing about special teams. It comes out in every facet of the game.
Yeah.
And the reason Edward has the opportunity to have so many touchdowns is because we end up winning the field position war, right? We win that battle. And so in the offense, I'm giving a tip of the hat to special teams because it shows up in the things that Edward's doing. It shows up specifically in the things that he's doing.
Edward Shumley is the number 15 player for rushing yards in 5AD2. The number 6 player in total points, the number 6 player in total touchdowns. You've got top 10 players on your offense is what it comes down to. Yeah.
Right. But let's keep moving on to other guys.
Hang on. By the way, some of the guys ahead of them are like, quarterbacks, athletes. You got some other running backs, things like that. So, anyways, keep going.
Okay, well we're gonna move on.
Phenomenal.
Great job, man. I mean, really good job, both you and Zai. We're gonna talk about number 7.
We love this man.
Man, I do. This guy is Ace Trailer is. He can do anything. He's an athlete. That's what he is.
You're a winner.
Yeah, you're gonna get a sticker. 2 catches, 28 yards. But the thing that impresses me most, and the reason you get a sticker is your desire to find a way. You will your way to an open space on the field when things aren't going the way they should, and he's just always in the right position.
Yeah.
And you always make clutch catches.
Mm-hmm.
You are grabbing and pulling that ball down in times where things have gotten sometimes pretty chaotic.
Yeah.
And you're a pressure release valve, and in this situation you were the victory call because it gave you a great opportunity to be in the end zone, catch a great touchdown pass, and that's just what you do, Ace. All the time. I've said it before. I've just said it again. I just admire his absolute just drive to always find himself open somehow, and then he brings the ball down.
Yeah. The play you're talking about, it's a little broken play. Zai starts to scramble off to the right side, and I'm watching the play and I'm thinking like, Zai's going to take off.
Well, and then he comes back across his own body to make the pass.
Yeah.
Which is even incredible.
And Ace, like you said, Phil, Ace sits down in that open space, and he's there. He knows my quarterback's going to get his eyes up, and he's going to check a space on the field, and I'm going to sit in it wide open, and the ball's going to come to me, and it did. And it's the level of trust that Zai is developing with this receiver room, because it is a deep receiver room.
Yeah, it is.
Which includes this next guy.
Yeah,
number 19, Michael Kennedy, going back in your debut back in Denison. Listen, it wasn't the night you wanted to have. I'm sure you wanted to come away with 394 receiving yards, 852 rushing yards, and 1,000 return yards for 78 touchdowns individually.
That's proverbial. Like that's the proverbial twisting the knife when it's in, right?
No, but hey, so you're gonna get a sticker on the night. You had 1 catch for 28 yards, but that puts us at our threshold for receiving average yards per catch is 20. So to be at 28 is, he had that coming. I think it was in the second half. He gets that catch and it's kind of like, oh, we're off and rolling.
Yeah, whether it's 1 or 10 receptions, if you've got that average, you're going to get a sticker.
So his breath of fresh air. By the way, this dude is lightning fast. Like he's quick.
Oh, I was about to say that right then.
Go
as
ahead,
you said it. No, when he caught that ball, he turned on the jets and he was moving.
And by the way, Ace looked back, and I think Ace was ready to block for another 7 years again on there. Satirical as well because he didn't block for 7 years.
No, he didn't.
But I was like, oh,
and he wasn't still blocking 5 days after the last game.
No, he was. Everything I say is straight facts.
It is.
It's just, there's no hyperbole or jokes here.
There is no hyperbole or jokes when we talk about Michael Kennedy. Michael Kennedy is one of those kids that adds depth to the receiver room. And I was asking this question this weekend is like, man, what do you do as an opposing offense when Anna has the ability to roll in any 5 guys? By the time we get to the playoffs, we'll be able to roll in any 5 guys at any time as a wide receiver and just keep moving them around.
I mean, it's at the point where we've legitimately got 5 very talented wide receivers.
Yeah.
And we've got some more on the depth chart behind them that are playing some DB things like that. Like you see Eric Bowen crossing over.
Yep.
Izzy in his own right can
George.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've got some guys that come in and then you throw Chumley in the mix and it's like we got 6 skill position players that should be playing every single play and we only have 5 spaces to put them. So Michael Kennedy, you're going to get your sticker.
Great job, dude.
And then we've got the special one.
Yeah, man. We love these guys just as a whole. They don't get enough. One of the things that we talked about this last week was maybe next year, anytime there's a win, we're going to give the whole team at least one sticker. I think that makes sense, and that was kind of a Coach Parr thing. Like, hey, we win as a team, right? Like everybody contributes to a win, and that was a good point. So, Coach, we hear you.
Yeah,
we're getting more stickers.
We'll probably have to we'll have to do like a stockpile that's at the indoor. So it's like, hey, here's the win sticker. Everybody grabs them. There's some extra sitting there, so that people aren't grabbing 2 or 3 for the win. You get one for the win, and then everything else on top of it.
But these guys helped us get there.
Yeah, they did
in a big way. The Purple People Movers, baby. Those big boys on the line, getting it done. Like they're hitting every single play. It's violent down there. And the reason that there was over 250 yards or more of rushing is because of those dudes.
The holes they create.
I mean, absolute just beasts. Every single one of them. 250. We're actually at the threshold. Exactly
on it.
250 yards of rushing for the 8.3 yards per carry. If it weren't for what you do, if it weren't for you succeeding in the things that you were schemed to do, these guys wouldn't have the openings to get the yardage they're getting. But
hey, real quick, say that yards per carry again.
With the 8.3 yards per carry.
That's incredible.
Look,
that is not done, like that's an incredible number that is not done without the offensive line doing what they do, and that's why we shout them out in this way and call it the Purple People Movers. Have a little bit of fun with it, because that's a phenomenal yards per carry average.
It's really great, and I think our line ought to hang their hat on that. That's why we're giving you guys a sticker again. The last few weeks, that's what we've been doing. Purple People Movers, right?
There you go.
But that's our offense. We went for a while on the offense.
We did. Should we go talk about the defense?
Let's talk about defense.
All right, well, I'll bring this one in with number 5, Eric Bowen. Hey, you're going to get one sticker on the night. So here's the interesting part, right? We had our team leading tackles with 10, and then we had 3 guys tied with 7. So that meant you had to get to the 7 sticker threshold to be technically one of our top 3.
Yeah.
Because everybody else was tied for 5th
Close.
on the team at 6.
Yeah.
So Eric Bowen, you had 6 total tackles, which is a really great night for a corner.
Yeah.
Coming downhill, kind of helping contain the edge, part of that bend but don't break mentality. But you get a sticker because you were credited with 1 pass breakup on the evening. So you're getting another sticker that goes on that helmet for that pass breakup.
And I think the big thing is I don't remember any really massive down the field completions.
No.
There were no big play moments that we let through, right?
Through the air, yeah.
Yeah, through the air. There were some big runs, but there were no big passes, no big chunk plays from the passing game. And our corners have to do their job to make that happen. And Eric happened to be one of those guys. So
yeah, he did.
That was really good.
Solid performance from Eric Bowen. Really well done.
Another guy in the backfield.
Yeah.
Number 6, George Rogers.
Okay.
Right? Look, George, you're going to get 2 stickers. You tied. You were in that big tie, that big 3-way tie that we were talking about just a minute ago. You tied for 2nd on the team with 3 other players for 7 total tackles. 5 of those were all by your lonesome.
Yes,
two had some assists, and then you had a pass breakup.
Yeah, he did.
I love it. I love it when George gets a pass breakup. It makes me smile when George gets the PBU and we put that on there. George, I love it, man. 2 stickers for that performance. Another reason we didn't have any big chunk plays is because of the play in the backfield, and George is a big part of that.
Yeah. George, I got a question for you because I know you got to watch this, brother. How much do you squat, dude? And or deadlift? Like, he's got to be in the 1,000-pound club. Between squats, deadlifts, cleans, bench, like he's easily in the 1,000-pound club, whatever it is. I mean, dude, you got some tree trunks and you got some legs that move and can dole out some punishment. Yeah, he tried to take someone's soul.
Yeah.
On Friday night.
He tried to take the nickname, but he can't have that nickname. That was already given.
Yep. Hey, number 15, Ryan Tsunami.
Ryan.
Mr. Tsunami. No, Ryan Sasumi is his name, but we call him Mr. Tsunami. Hey, you had 6 total tackles. Once again, one shy of that threshold. But you're going to get the sticker because you had a big pass breakup in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
I kind of joked with him afterwards, and I go, hey, bro, you just got to pick that one off. He goes, man, you know I don't have that depth perception. That's why I'm playing defense and not playing receiver. I just started laughing. I was like, okay. Well, dude, you got the pass breakup. It was on I think it was on a fourth down or it was a long third down play that put them in a position where they had to punt.
Yeah.
And so Ryan Sasumi, you're going to get that sticker on the night, coming up big and continuing to mature and grow as a sophomore.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was going to ask you. You don't remember what year he is?
Sophomore.
He's a sophomore.
First year on defense, played quarterback the last 3 years.
First year on defense, and this is what I told my wife this. We're driving back from the game. I said, you give Ryan a year with Coach Russell, an off season in the gym. And if he'll commit to putting on the weight and hitting the gym and doing he's going to be a nasty looking, he's going to be a beastly looking dude. He's going to be one that just maybe we can start hanging that tag back out. And I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to throw it out there, a little carrot, because I think he can put on a lot of weight on that frame.
Yeah.
And he could be a soul destroyer, not just a soul snatcher. He could be a soul destroyer.
Listen, Ryan, I know you love basketball and enjoy that season. We've got another linebacker in the past that loved him some basketball, Grayson
Stewart. Yeah.
So you can do both.
Yep.
And you can show up. Grayson showed up big, and
he was
in both.
Grayson was a punisher on both places.
So Ryan, we see a lot of potential, dude, and we love you, man. Another guy that comes to our church on the regular basis, and we've got a personal relationship with him.
You just get to know. I mean,
we know his family,
dude. And on top of everything else, he's just so smart. He's not afraid. He's not afraid to get into the books. He's a smart kid, dude.
I think he's if he's not number 1 in the class, he's top 10 in the class overall right now. From a GPA,
it does not
academic
surprise
standpoint.
me. It doesn't surprise me.
So, dude, you're gonna have all kinds of doors open for you in your future. Just keep working hard in the classroom, on the football field, on the basketball court, in the weight room. Keep working hard, brother. That's gonna lead to great things in your life.
And here's another guy that should follow suit.
Come on.
I mean, look, I love the look of next year, and we're not even done with this year yet. Because
I need you to love the look of this year too.
I do.
I know you do.
No,
I know you do.
I do. But I'm just thinking about another year of growth. So here's the deal. I'm talking about number 17. I'm going to talk about JoJo Smith a little bit because
Red Lightning,
baby. We found that nickname this weekend. You told it to us.
Dad told it to us.
Right? You shouldn't have said it because now it's going to be everywhere. Red Lightning. He and I talked a little bit this weekend, and I had a lot of opportunities to see JoJo over the weekend. It just happened that we, cross paths a lot.
Yeah.
And that's what he said. He said the same thing we're talking about Ryan. He's like, yeah, I need to get in the gym and I need to put on more weight and I just can't, as much as that kid flies around now and as hard as he hits right now, I just can't imagine JoJo with another 20 pounds or so. Mm-hmm. He would just be devastating. But look, JoJo, we're gonna give you 2 stickers. I get lost in thinking of the future, but 6 tackles, which is again one shy.
Yep, one shy.
One shy of that other sticker. But you get your stickers for an interception. Yes, sir.
Come on now.
Get their second offensive play of the game.
Just flying out there.
You elevate. You come through the picture.
Hit Ashton to get the interception.
You and Ashton were both. By the way, if Ashton had come down with it, I probably would have lost my mind with the big old clubbed hand.
Yep.
That would have been crazy. But you elevate, you pull down that ball. Awesome job, man. Incredible. And I think at that point you could feel the collective oh no, what are we in for?
Yeah.
From the other side.
They girded up. They girded up.
But they found their way.
And didn't give up 284 points.
No, they didn't give up 284 points. But man, you had an incredible interception, a pass breakup on the day. You get 2 stickers. We're used to calling your name, and it's because you're grinding every single game.
Hey, this next guy I'm going to talk about, it almost seems criminal that he only walked away with 2 stickers.
I know.
We may have to. I may have to revisit. We may have to revisit this. He led the team. Cash Williams, number 25, is going to get 2 stickers. He led the team with 10 total tackles. We may have to do where you hit double digits in an automatic sticker, and you lead the team. That's another sticker. We may make that change.
We'll figure it
out in the offseason. But that's for the offseason. this is the standards we're at now.
Double digit tackles.
Double digit A. Led the team with 10 total tackles, 6 solo, 4 assisted, 1 sack, hitting everything that moves football. Cash Williams, you're kind of just back to that beast that we saw highlighting the field last year when you had the 4 seniors ahead of you in the linebacking core, and we put you down, hands in the dirt on the edge, and you set that edge, and you destroy that edge, and you punish people, and you drive them into the dirt, and your helmet looks like you had antlers that fell off of it, and you just keep going back and getting dirty.
We need to take that helmet to the body shop, man. We need a fresh paint job.
He don't want no fresh paint job.
I know he doesn't want it, but man, it is. If you guys want to see something amazing, you want to understand the violence and the absolute beating that football could be, go take a look at Cash Williams, number 25. Go look at his helmet, and you'll see just how violent this game could be.
Yeah.
I mean, he's knocking the paint off his helmet. Like, it's crazy, dude. Look, I'm going to transition. Cash is great. We've talked about him for years. We're going to keep talking about him for a couple more years.
Got one more year, man.
I'm so glad I get to talk about number 26, Carter Dietz.
Come on now.
Look, Carter, I see you on the sideline quite a bit. You're going to get a sticker tonight. But I'm just going to say that hit you put on the quarterback. Quarterback does what he does. He starts to hand off the ball, right? This kind of, I guess it was a little bit of a read pass option. And that mesh point that they're in, we talked about, like, they lived in that place. They were in that moment for, it felt like 30 seconds every play.
Yeah.
You know,
obviously it was like 1.5, 2, but it felt like 30.
But I over exaggerate for purpose.
We never do that. We're never hyperbolic or we never increase things.
It's going to be woven through the whole stat show.
And they probably won't even watch this one.
No, they won't. They don't care. But anyway, here's the deal. So Carter goes in, at the quarterback pulls the ball, right? And he takes off. I think he thought he was going to be able to get the edge right off the end there, and it quickly a linebacker came down, so he had to bounce to the outside.
Yep.
And he's got 2 guys that are starting to engage him from the front, and Carter comes in from, and I've got this video. Carter comes in from off the screen like a missile and just spears this dude.
Yeah, it was. I felt it.
I did too, man. I'm like, oh, you're gonna have to mute the audio on my clip because I think you can hear me respond to it because I thought, gosh, that's gonna hurt. Oh man, it was amazing, Carter. What a great night. 4 tackles on the night. 3 were solo. You had 1 assist. I'm pretty sure that's the assisted one. And then you had a tackle for loss, which is where you get your sticker. Disrupting the offense in the backfield and keeping that momentum at bay. That's why that's so sticker worthy, man. But it was a great night. Good hit. Another kid that was hurt last year. Right,
yeah.
Didn't get a whole lot of time to play, and came in this year and is really starting to make a name for himself.
Yeah. By the way, still has not come and told us his number.
I know he told me. I've talked to him several times about his number.
Didn't tell me.
Oh well, he got me. He got us.
Okay.
He got you.
I mean, I had to reach out to Coach Severe. I had to send Coach Severe a message. He goes, he's 26.
He's 26.
No, hey, we're glad that Carter is here and he's playing well. Got a little chirpy on Friday night with number 23. He and 23 were having some fun talking back and forth. So that was fun to watch that side of Carter. He doesn't get riled up like that a lot. But number 31 is our next guy, Austin Crowley. You're going to walk away with 2 stickers on the night, Austin. You were tied for second on the team with 7 total tackles, 5 of them solo, 2 assisted. You had 1 tackle for a loss. And Austin Crowley just continues the march of establishing himself every single week as one of the cores of our linebackers.
Look at that. Listen to those 5 guys. Ryan Sasumi, Josiah Smith, Cash Williams, Carter Dietz, Austin Crowley.
Yeah.
Bam, 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 bam. Guys that are all part, I believe, of defensive football for the Coyotes for at least another year together.
Yeah. And Austin Crowley, like he played really well.
Yeah, really well.
And we talk about guys that are together for at least another year. The next one.
Come on. Martin Brown, number 34. At first,
Yes,
we
sir.
thought he was some other person, but we got it all ironed out again. 3 stickers, Martin. 3. 2.5 sacks for you, dude. Everywhere he
Leon
turned.
Elamine.
Yeah. We thought you were Leon for a while, but we got that straightened, Martin. We got you, my man.
That's what the roster said. That's all we can
Almost
do.
3 sacks all on your own. It was an incredible day for you. Every time I turned around,
Junior.
he was somewhere else making his name, like making his mark on the game. And that's what defenses have to be, right? Guys who are hunting for opportunity, literally just throwing themselves at every chance to make a stat and not for a sticker, but those stats add up to wins for your team.
Yeah.
And Martin, you're constantly being mentioned. An incredible game. 2.5 sacks is a great game.
Yeah, it is.
That's a great game. So 3 stickers for you. Great job, man.
Here's what I can guarantee. We won't call you Leon Elamine next year in week 1 of the
No,
Stash Show.
no, sir.
Because you've made your mark. Another junior. This next guy, also a junior. Number 90, Caden Banks. We say that and we celebrate that because, one, we're really enjoying this team this year.
Yeah.
Right? But it's also exciting, as a fan, it's natural to be like, oh, what do we have in the pipes next year? And to know that we have a lot of our defensive core coming back and that they get to grow and improve is a big deal because we just lost all of our starters. And that's why we started from a blank slate this year, and they've been building up who they are as a defense.
And people need to understand, junior year is a big year for growth in the lives of these boys. From a development standpoint in football, that sophomore, junior time frame to the end of your junior year, there's a lot of growth that happens. And that's why I look at these guys and I see an extra 100 pounds between them, and I'm thinking, holy smokes.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. Like, this could be pretty good.
Yeah, so our next guy, number 90, Caden Banks.
Come on, the Soul Snatcher.
Soul Snatcher.
Soul Snatcher.
Soul Snatcher.
He did it again, by the way.
He's going to get 2 you're going to get 2 stickers on the night, brother. You had 7 tackles. By the way, he's so unassuming. Like, he's very quiet. But you can tell, like, when I look at his eyes on the sideline or when I talk to him pregame or whatever like that, I can tell, like, no, the dude is focused to go snatch some souls. And then after the game, when he does it, you can see, like, the joy that it brings him. He had 7 tackles, which was tied for second on the team. You had 6 solo, 1 assisted. And then you come in with a half sack with Martin, where you finish off the quarterback on that play. And so 2 stickers for our junior defensive tackle, defensive end is a phenomenal game.
I've got this video, and I don't know if it's appropriate to show or not because
I don't know.
I thought Banks took his head off. I thought he hit him so hard he comes through, and all I can see is number 90, and I can see his arm, and I thought he was just maybe going to get an arm tackle. I thought he was going to miss him. I thought he was going to whiff. Oh no, he knocked the guy clean off his feet with just his arm. Like we never talk about good things about arm tackling ever because it's just not the way you do it. But whatever you did, I don't know how you did it. It looked so painful, bro.
That young man is walking around without a soul right now.
Yeah,
By the way, we're joking.
I was loving it. Yeah,
satire.
He has a soul.
Hyperbole.
He has a soul. It was great, Caden. I mean, it was a lot of fun, man. What an incredible hit! I know I've got it, so we'll probably replay it for you at least once on this broadcast.
Caden Banks continuing to show up big, showing why the coaching staff was so high on him coming into the season.
Yeah,
the amount of talent found within that kid is awesome, and as he continues to get his position nailed down and his head straight, like he's just performing really well. But that's our defense.
We got one more facet of the game to speak about. Special teams.
Let's go.
You brought in the last one. I guess I'm going to do this one.
Yeah, it's your turn.
I can't wait. This is fun. Now, look, we've revamped this a little bit. We sat before the show and talked a little bit about all the elements that go into making a successful extra point, right? A successful field goal, things like that nature.
I sat down and I took some ownership, some responsibility. I said, Phil, I think when I've been writing up these outlines, I've been underselling.
Right, because it's easy to give Dez some credit, isn't it?
And he deserves the credit
he does.
Gets. But we gotta add in some of the other credits where credit is due.
Number 62, for instance.
60.
Is it 60?
Yeah, 60.
Yo, number 60, yes. How did I not? That's my boy.
But start with 82. You'll get to him in a second. Start with 82.
Well, number 82, Dez.
You combine the 2 numbers together.
Yeah, that's what I did. Number 82, Dez. Look, we've put a high mark on you. I think it's the high mark of kicking in general, right? Yeah. A lot of people, they hate how perfectionist oriented that is, but it's the nature of your job, and I think you know that.
And the nature of special teams.
Yeah, you know it. Like, you know that you can't have an off moment. You've got to perform every time you get on there. And dude, you had an opportunity, and you took 4 of them actually, and you took it and you seized. You did exactly what you had to do. You score 4 points on the night, and you get 1 sticker for being perfect. And you had people that helped you do it. And this is where our stat has changed a little bit.
This is where it's changed. We're also going to give a sticker to Rowan Nylander,
yes, sir,
for the clean holds throughout the evening, because without the holds, Des has no kick to kick.
And look, Rowan has in many occasions saved the day.
Yeah.
Right, where things have tried to get a little wonky from our snapper, which is why we're also including number 60 in this situation, Kean, for his snapping, right? Because it was this whole system between number 9, number 60, number 82 worked, I would say, almost flawlessly this week.
Yeah.
And it was 100% in terms of success. So.
I thought they were really solid snaps, too. It didn't feel like anything was totally out of pocket where Rowan was having to reach really far for one or the other. It was just clean execution, and that's what you want out of your special teams, and that's why the expectation of special teams is no mistakes.
Yeah.
Because when mistakes happen, we give up a big return, we miss extra points, we miss field goals. People are like, oh, what are we doing?
Well, and the other side of this that we don't talk about with Dez a lot is just how big his leg is.
Yeah.
I mean, I would probably argue 95, 96% of the time, it's a touchback. When he kicks off, it's a touchback because he just boots it through the end zone. Like
he cracked me up during that our pregame interview when we were talking to him, and I was kind of talking about like how his leg is a weapon for us, and he can kick it into the end zone. He can place it at the 2, and that's a special thing. He can place it at the 2 to try and pin him deep if they're going to try and return it. And I said, hey, what's your mindset? Like, how do you do that every time? He goes, I don't know. I just do what Coach Barr tells me. I just go kick the ball. I just go do it, and it's like. Sure, thanks for making it sound easy. And I'm going to go kick it off a tee, and I'm going to kick it 15 yards, and it's going to look like a wounded duck flying through the air.
I won't. I wouldn't make it. I don't think I could kick it 15 yards.
You could get 15.
Maybe we'll try that for fun sometime.
Should we get us kicking with Dez?
That would be the fun segment. We might try that.
We could bring
Dez,
Eric Smith.
Dez, hang tight. Now Eric will put us to shame.
Eric would put us, but it would be fun to see an old kicker kicking. Two old guys that have never kicked.
By the way, that old kicker's still making 40-yard field goals.
Okay, but that would still be fun to see. Either way, that would be a fun little extra piece to put in the offseason. So maybe, Des, we might be hitting you up for some kicking time.
Yeah, man, we might have a little bit of fun
kicking with the bald guys.
Look, it was an okay week. Right, it wasn't a great week.
We didn't score 497 points.
We didn't score 497,000 points. We
fell just a bit shy, but we got the win.
We didn't shut them out, but we did walk away with a W, and that's ultimately that was one of the most important stats to walk out of this last week with was the W.
Yeah.
Had to have that, and the guys delivered that. It just wasn't in the fashion that we're used to seeing our guys play. Yeah. They did not play their game. It didn't start like the Coyotes. It didn't finish like the Coyotes. Nothing. It just didn't feel like we had executed at the level that we've executed before.
No, and I think nobody felt that way. But we got another chance this Friday night.
Yeah, we do, and that's going to be fun. We're back home even.
Back at home for what is Friday night? It's
senior night, baby.
Senior night.
We're going to recognize those leaders on our team. It's going to be a lot of fun. We get Frisco Memorial.
Yeah.
Look, they're going to come in to play football.
Yeah.
Right. They don't want anything else but a win.
Yeah.
And that's why guys suit up every week all across the nation to play football on Friday night. They want to win.
Yep.
Right? They want to go out and inflict punishment and walk away with a win. So Frisco Memorial will come wanting to win. They're going to want to upset. They're going to want to hurt. They're going to want to inflict their will into our little Rubik's Cube scenario, if you will, right, for the playoffs. And they're going to do everything they can to do that. So
look, because I can solve a Rubik's Cube.
That's right.
Did we say that on the show already?
You did say that. So look,
tidbit for the night.
We've got to get fans out, right? We've got to make sure the fun zone is as loud as it's ever been,
as fun as it's ever been.
It's our last home game of the season.
Yeah.
We got to be out there. Look, tailgate 5:30. We got the Coyote Walk. Probably at 6:30.
I've got confirmation. And coming in clutch as we're filming this.
Let's go.
Sending me in the text. Shout out Ann Parr. Sticker for you if you want it, Ann Parr. Just come tell us. Got a sticker for you for the clutch text back. In the moment. This is live and unfiltered.
Nice.
So hey, Coyote time is going to be at 6:30.
Good. 6:30.
Senior night announcements are going to start at 6:50.
Okay.
So be there for the tailgate, be there for the Coyote Walk, so that you're there to celebrate our seniors' last home game as they get announced at 6:50.
Be a lot of fun.
For the 7:30 kickoff.
7:30 kickoff. Different
where we're going to score
where we were.
814 points.
814,000 points is what I heard you say.
And we're going to give up negative 300 million.
Hey, and that's going to bring us to the end of another stat show where we speak in hyperbole, where we sometimes exaggerate, but we always have fun. So, like always, shall we go out how we do, Coyotes? Go Coyotes on 3?
Let's do it.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Go,
Go
Coyotes.
Coyotes.